I would just like to say that, first of all, it's been great working with these people, Donald Stewart and Cheri. Cheri, who's redefined for, I think, the entire country what very special arts means by broadening it to include people with AIDS. And it's been just fantastic to see her kind of grow with the job in very special arts. Also, as a photographer, seeing Cheri's work, when I was first involved with the project doing the video component of it, Cheri would, we had 3 meetings and I never saw any of Cheri's work, and I started to get really a little concerned. Because everyone's a photographer, and but there are very few good ones. And then one day she brought her proof sheets, and I knew that it was magic. I knew it was going to be magic. So finally, I'd just like to say that one of the neatest things I've heard about this entire show is that there is a 6th grade class coming tomorrow morning from the public school, busing down here to see the show. So that in itself is worth it.
Thank you all for coming tonight. Many people have asked me how I originally started this project, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. I was becoming concerned about AIDS issues in general. I had a very good friend from the 4th grade that we had gone to the same college and lived in Europe together, and he moved to San Francisco when we came back from Europe, and now he's quite sick there with AIDS, and so it had really started to hit home. And also, I had an associate at work that had gone to the dentist, and due to a confidentiality leak with the dental secretary, it had got out in our office that he was HIV positive, and I started observing people saying things like, "I don't want to work with him," "Who cares if they die," and things like that. And also I noticed that sort of a feeling being in Utah that we were in a bit of a womb, a cocoon from some of the major problems of the world. And I love Utah, and yes, we don't have drug wars in the streets and things like that, but it also shouldn't lead us to feel that we don't need to be concerned about issues like this. And I had people say to me that even though they were single and very sexually active, that they didn't feel it was necessary to practice safe sex because they lived in Utah. So all that kind of got me going. And at the same time, I was developing a portfolio through classes study at the Salt Lake Arts Center. And it just seemed natural to try to bring together, to create a group of images where, first of all, people could see face-to-face the PWAs in Utah and realize that, yes, AIDS is happening in Utah. And then by bringing a personal message with the photographs, that perhaps people could wake up and develop their own compassion, understanding, and their love of support, and really reach out to these folks. So that was what my motivation was, and just also the personal, how can I say that? Just the thought to imagine being diagnosed with a disease for which right now there is no cure, and then to be shunned by family and friends and community, church, neighbors, etc., seemed the most traumatic situation that someone could be in. And so that was what really kept me going. And at times I would just forget the technical. In fact, I had a new camera, and sometimes I just thought it wasn't going to work, but magically somehow it did. And when I think about the project, there were 3 people that really had tremendous impact, and just in a chronological order. One was Roger Newbold, who I hope is here, but I haven't seen him yet tonight, director of photography at the Salt Lake Arts Center, who was just a tremendous motivator as far as my developing my creativity and artistic, photographic skills and technical. He'd met me at 6 a.m. at Denny's to discuss this project, and he was very patient with numerous phone calls at work during the day. I don't even want to say how many, but he was great. And then the second person that really had tremendous impact was Donald Stewart, who I like to embarrass by calling a creative genius. And Donald had this blind faith without really seeing my work that I could pull this off, which I really appreciate, and has a tremendous talent for bringing people, resources together to really manifest his dream. And he really had a tremendous impact on my motivation in getting us all together. And then the third person was Cheri Jones, Executive Director of Very Special Arts, who really had the final idea for the manifestation and had the vision to bring AIDS as part of Very Special Arts, which is something new to her organization. So anyway, a lot of people along the way said, do you have a grant? Is this your MFA project? Things like that, But it was really just, what I told you was my original motivation that kind of kept me going the whole time. And I would still have people say things to me like, oh, Cheri, why don't you just go up in the mountains and take pretty pictures? There's so many pretty things in Utah. Why don't you just do that? And that would just get me going even more. And then I had people say, boy, I wish I could do that, but I wouldn't be able to go in and be with these people, and get that close with them. And there were times, where it really got to me, that it kind of, with people writing their statement and allowing me that close into their life, it was tremendously courageous for the people that are photographed here, including the anonymous people, to do what they did and to write a statement. To write what I had asked, a one-page statement, and as you can see, some of them couldn't do that, which was fine. But they're, without them, they're really the main part of what this is all about. And I could talk for hours about all these people. But there's two families that I really got involved with, and just for different reasons, and I just want to talk about them briefly. And one is the Gray family over here on this wall. And Randy died earlier this year. He was 39, which is my same age, and I just felt close with their family, their number of siblings, their family structure, their ages, and things. And also, I just honored them so much for the way that they drew together at the time of Randy's illness and death. And I have so much gratitude for their allowing me into their lives at those intimate moments. This picture right here was done of Stephen at his office when we just had an initial interview, and he was very open about his emotions as to what was happening for him. And at this particular moment, he's saying, "My God, my brother is dying." And that really had a lot of impact for me and for him very much. And this, let's see, and then the last picture, which I went up to their house after their death, is Catherine and Carol Gray with Randy's portrait and his urn above. Just the way these people drew together through the last months of Randy's life was just beautiful. The love and the support that they all showed to each other and to Randy was really special for me. And then the other family that I really wanted to mention was the Hulls, who are from Salina, and their pictures are up on this back wall. Cheri has two children, two sons. Casey, which unfortunately was admitted to the hospital today, and that's why he's not here. And Kurt, Casey's 21 and Kurt is 27. Casey has AIDS and Kurt is HIV positive. And we had a lot of fun going to the KISS concert. I called the promoter and asked if we could go backstage, and they had a VIP escort for us, and that was really a fun night. But what this woman has done with these two kids being hemophiliacs from when the oldest one was just a few months old, rushing him to the hospital and being told that they didn't think that this infant was going to make it, to what she's dealing with today, a full-time caring and support of Casey and Kurt is just incredible to me. And mentioning those two families doesn't mean that any of these others are less important. It's just that those two ones I happen to spend more time with and got to be really close friends. And Georgiana, my very dearest friend that is over there, we went to play pool one day. I just couldn't get quite the right picture of her, and she told me she had been the #1 female pool player in California for several years. So we went to the pool hall, and She's just a wonderful spirit. I'm sure you've seen her here tonight, probably. So that's what it was about for me, and I really appreciate the support from the press. It's been wonderful. Some of the things that they say about the press being intrusive or uncaring are just absolutely not true of the press here in Salt Lake. I felt that the TV and the newspapers were really caring about this situation from their own heart. It wasn't a story to them. I mean, it was, but it was much more than that. And I really appreciate their help in getting this message out. Oh, and then one last person is Dr. Tom Evans that I wanted to mention, who allowed me into his practice to meet a lot of these PWAs and trusted me with them. And I just really honor everything that he's done as director of the HIV clinic here at the university. His 25-hour-a-day commitment to his patients and on the tremendous technical and medical demands of being in his position, in addition to the emotional commitment that he makes with all his patients. So, thank you for coming.